Ladies and gentlemen, today we embark on a journey back in time, to the heart of an ancient civilization lost beneath the sands of Central Asia, Gonur Depe. Hidden for centuries, this forgotten city holds the secrets of one of the world's earliest and most sophisticated societies. The Bactria-Margiana Depe is one of the most remarkable, yet lesser-known archaeological sites of the ancient world. It lies deep within the Karakum Desert of present-day Turkmenistan, an area that was once fertile and teeming with life during the Bronze Age. This city, along with several other settlements in the region, forms a part of the Bactria-Margiana Archaeological Complex, BMAC, also known as the Oxus civilization. The BMAC was a highly advanced society that thrived between 2200 and 1700 BCE, existing alongside the great civilizations of Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Indus Valley. For centuries, Gonur Depe remained hidden beneath the sands, untouched and forgotten by time. Unlike the pyramids of Egypt or the ziggurats of Mesopotamia, which were well documented in historical texts, Gonur Depe had no written records that directly referenced its existence. The city only came to light in the 20th century, thanks to the relentless efforts of archaeologists, particularly Victor Sarianidi, a Russian-Greek archaeologist who dedicated his life to uncovering the mysteries of the ancient BMAC civilization. The location of Gonur Depe makes its existence even more fascinating. Situated in what is now an arid and inhospitable region, it is hard to believe that this area once supported a thriving civilization. However, studies suggest that thousands of years ago, the Murghab River provided fertile lands and abundant water, making the region suitable for agriculture, settlement, and trade. The presence of sophisticated irrigation systems further indicates that the people of Gonur Depe were skilled engineers, capable of controlling water flow to sustain their community. What makes Gonur Depe particularly significant is its cultural and historical uniqueness. While it shares similarities with Mesopotamian and Indus Valley civilizations, it also has distinct architectural, artistic, and religious elements that set it apart. The city features massive fortifications, multi-room structures, and evidence of complex social organization, suggesting that it was a major political and economic hub of its time. The artifacts unearthed here, including finely crafted ceramics, jewelry, and ritual objects, point to a civilization that was not only prosperous, but also highly artistic and spiritually rich. Gonur Depe and the BMAC civilization have challenged traditional views of early human societies. Previously, historians focused mainly on Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Indus Valley as the primary cradles of civilization. However, the discovery of Gonur Depe has introduced a new center of ancient culture, proving that early civilizations were far more diverse and interconnected than once believed. Despite its immense historical importance, Gonur Depe remains relatively unknown to the public. Unlike famous sites such as Mohenjo-Daro or the pyramids of Giza, it has not yet received the recognition it deserves. However, as more archaeological research is conducted and awareness spreads, Gonur Depe has the potential to become one of the most significant discoveries of the modern era, offering deeper insights into the early development of human civilization. The Margiana Archaeological Complex, BMAC. Gonur Depe is an ancient city that flourished during the Bronze Age, a period marked by significant advancements in human civilization. This era, spanning from approximately 3300 BCE to 1200 BCE, was characterized by the widespread use of bronze for tools and weapons, the rise of organized urban centers, and the development of long-distance trade networks. Gonur Depe, which existed between 2200 BCE and 1700 BCE, was a vital part of this transformation, playing a crucial role in the evolution of early societies in Central Asia. The Bronze Age was a time when human settlements evolved from small farming communities into complex urban centers. Gonur Depe was one such center, boasting a well-planned city layout, massive fortifications, and an advanced irrigation system. The people of Gonur Depe were not simple farmers. They were builders, traders, and spiritual leaders who developed a highly structured society. This period also saw the emergence of social hierarchies, with ruling elites, religious figures, artisans, and laborers all contributing to the city's growth. What makes Gonur Depe remarkable is that it thrived in a region that was once thought to be inhospitable for large civilizations. Unlike Mesopotamia, where major rivers like the Tigris and Euphrates supported urban centers, Gonur Depe relied on the Murghab River, which provided fertile land for agriculture. The people developed sophisticated irrigation techniques, allowing them to control water distribution in a dry environment. This ability to manipulate nature and sustain a growing population is one of the reasons why the city flourished for several centuries. During its peak, Gonur Depe was likely a center of trade and cultural exchange. It is believed that the city had connections with the Indus Valley civilization, located in present-day Pakistan and India, as well as with Mesopotamian cities like Ur and Babylon. Archaeologists have found artifacts at Gonur Depe that resemble objects from these distant civilizations, suggesting a vast trade network that spanned thousands of miles. Goods such as precious stones, metals, textiles, and ceramics may have passed through Gonur Depe, making it a key player in Bronze Age commerce. The city's ruins tell a story of an advanced society that had urban planning and architectural sophistication. Excavations have revealed multi-roomed buildings, large storage facilities, and even evidence of palace-like structures that may have housed the ruling elite. Unlike simple villages, Gonur Depe had defined districts for administration, living quarters, and religious practices, indicating a high level of organization. Religious life in Gonur Depe during the Bronze Age was also highly developed. Archaeologists have uncovered fire altars, temples, and ceremonial objects, leading some experts to believe that the city played a role in early Zoroastrian religious practices. If true, this would place Gonur Depe among the earliest known religious centers in the world, further emphasizing its importance in human history. Despite its prosperity, Gonur Depe, like many other Bronze Age cities, eventually declined. Scholars debate the reasons for its downfall, with theories ranging from climate change, shifting river courses, resource depletion, or even invasion. Whatever the cause, by 1700 BCE, the city had largely been abandoned, leaving behind only ruins and artifacts as silent witnesses to its once thriving civilization. For centuries, Gonur Depe lay buried beneath the vast Karakum Desert of modern-day Turkmenistan, its existence unknown to the world. Unlike famous ancient cities such as Babylon, Troy, or Mohenjo-daro, which were mentioned in historical texts or legends, Gonur Depe left behind no written records to hint at its past glory. It remained hidden, untouched by human eyes for thousands of years, until its rediscovery in the 1970s by a dedicated archaeologist named Victor Sarianidi. Victor Sarianidi was a Russian-Greek archaeologist who had spent much of his career exploring the ancient civilizations of Central Asia and the Middle East. Born in 1929, Sarianidi was fascinated by the history of the ancient world and made it his life's mission to uncover lost cities and forgotten cultures. In the early 1970s, while conducting surveys in the Murghab River Delta, he came across an unusual mound covered in sand. This mound, once excavated, turned out to be one of the most significant archaeological discoveries of the 20th century, Gonur Depe. At first, Sarianidi and his team had little idea of the magnitude of their discovery. The site appeared to be the ruins of an ancient settlement, but as they began to dig deeper, they uncovered something extraordinary, evidence of a highly advanced civilization that predated many known ancient societies. Over the next few decades, Sarianidi meticulously excavated the site, revealing palaces, temples, fortifications, and an elaborate water management system that suggested a well-organized and thriving city. One of the key aspects of Sarianidi's findings was the cultural and architectural uniqueness of Gonur Depe. Unlike other known civilizations of the time, such as the Mesopotamians or the Indus Valley people, Gonur Depe exhibited distinct artistic and structural styles. Sarianidi proposed that the civilization was part of a larger, previously unrecognized Bronze Age culture, which he named the Bactria-Margiana Archaeological Complex, BMAC. This civilization, he argued, played a crucial role in shaping early human history, connecting the Indus Valley, Mesopotamia, and even early Iranian cultures. Despite its importance, Sarianides' discovery did not receive immediate global recognition. Since Gonur Depe was located in Soviet-controlled Turkmenistan, access to the site was restricted, and much of the early research remained within Soviet academic circles. It was only after the fall of the Soviet Union in the 1990s that international scholars began to take a greater interest in Gonur Depe and the BMAC civilization. Sarianides continued his work at the site for over 40 years, dedicating his life to unearthing its secrets. He discovered thousands of artifacts, including beautifully crafted pottery, elaborate jewelry, and evidence of what he believed to be early Zoroastrian religious practices. He proposed that Gonur Depe may have been one of the birthplaces of Zoroastrianism, one of the world's oldest known religions, which later influenced major faiths such as Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Although Sarianides passed away in 2013, his legacy lives on. His work at Gonur Depe changed the way historians view early civilizations, proving that Central Asia was not a cultural backwater, but rather a thriving hub of trade, innovation, and spirituality. Today, ongoing excavations and research continue to uncover new insights about Gonur Depe, ensuring that Sarianides' discovery remains one of the most significant contributions to the field of archaeology. One of the most fascinating aspects of Gonur Depe is its highly advanced architecture, which reveals a civilization that was not only skilled in construction but also well organized in urban planning. Unlike simple settlements of the time, Gonur Depe was a large and complex city, designed with purpose and sophistication. The excavations led by Victor Sarianides uncovered impressive structures, including palaces, temples, storage facilities, and residential areas, all of which point to a highly developed society with a distinct cultural identity. At the heart of the city was a massive palace complex, which served as the administrative and possibly religious center of Gonur Depe. The palace was built using mud bricks, a common building material in ancient times, and featured thick defensive walls, multiple rooms, and elaborate corridors. The sheer size of the palace suggests that it housed the city's ruling elite or high priests, who likely played a central role in governance and spiritual leadership. Some of the rooms contained large fire altars, indicating that religious rituals may have been performed here, possibly linked to early Zoroastrian traditions. Surrounding the palace were numerous temples, each designed with distinct architectural features. These temples were likely dedicated to various deities or religious practices, with some showing evidence of fire worship, a belief system that would later influence Zoroastrianism. The presence of altars and sacred spaces suggests that Gonur Depe was not just a political center, but also a spiritual hub, where religious ceremonies played a crucial role in daily life. Some researchers believe that the city's ritualistic structures were unique compared to contemporary civilizations, hinting at the development of an independent religious tradition. One of the most remarkable discoveries in Gonur Depe is the intricate water management system found within the city's architectural layout. Given that the city was located in a semi-arid environment, the inhabitants of Gonur Depe developed an advanced network of canals, wells, and reservoirs to store and distribute water efficiently. This system allowed the city to thrive in an otherwise harsh climate, demonstrating the intelligence and engineering skills of its people. The presence of public water facilities also suggests a well-organized society where resources were managed collectively. Beyond its administrative and religious buildings, Gonur Depe also had well-planned residential areas, which were laid out in an orderly fashion. Unlike chaotic or randomly built settlements, the houses in Gonur Depe were constructed with separate living spaces, storage areas, and courtyards, reflecting a structured urban lifestyle. Some homes even had drainage systems, indicating a concern for sanitation and hygiene, an advanced feature for the time. The defensive structures of Gonur Depe further highlight its strategic importance. The city was surrounded by thick mud brick walls, which may have been built for protection against invaders or natural disasters. These fortifications suggest that the city had military or defensive considerations, possibly due to conflicts with neighboring settlements or nomadic tribes. The sophistication of Gonur Depe's architecture challenges the traditional view that advanced urban planning was limited to civilizations like Mesopotamia, Egypt, or the Indus Valley. Instead, it proves that the Bactria-Margiana Archaeological Complex, BMAC, was a major center of innovation and development in the ancient world. The city's carefully constructed buildings, religious monuments, and engineering feats show that its inhabitants were not primitive settlers, but a highly organized and skilled society, capable of great architectural achievements. Gonur Depe was not just an isolated settlement in the desert. It was a thriving hub of trade and cultural exchange that played a crucial role in connecting different ancient civilizations. Situated in the heart of Central Asia, it served as a key trade center between the great Bronze Age civilizations of Mesopotamia, the Indus Valley, and Iran. The artifacts found at the site indicate that Gonur Depe was deeply involved in long-distance trade, bringing in goods and ideas that helped shape its unique cultural identity. The city's strategic location along ancient trade routes made it a natural meeting point for merchants, craftsmen, and travelers. While the famous Silk Road would not emerge until thousands of years later, Gonur Depe was already part of a Bronze Age trade network that stretched across the ancient world. Archaeologists have uncovered a variety of imported materials at the site, including lapis lazuli from Afghanistan, carnelian beads from the Indus Valley, and silver from Iran. These discoveries suggest that Gonur Depe had economic ties with distant lands, exchanging its own goods, such as pottery, textiles, and metalwork, for valuable foreign materials. One of the most intriguing aspects of Gonur Depe's trade connections is the presence of seals and artifacts resembling those found in Mesopotamia and the Indus Valley civilization. In Mesopotamia, seals were used for administrative purposes, marking trade goods and official documents. Similar seals found in Gonur Depe indicate that its economy may have been organized in a similar fashion, with merchants and officials keeping track of transactions. These seals also suggest that traders from the Indus Valley and Mesopotamia may have visited Gonur Depe, further proving its significance as a regional trade center. Beyond economic trade, cultural influences from different civilizations also flowed into Gonur Depe. The city's architecture, religious practices, and artistic styles show a mix of different traditions, hinting at interactions with neighboring societies. Some of the artifacts found in Gonur Depe bear striking similarities to those of the Indus Valley, particularly in pottery designs and decorative motifs. This has led some scholars to speculate that there may have been direct contact between the two civilizations, with ideas, technologies, and even religious beliefs being exchanged. The religious and ritualistic aspects of Gonur Depe further highlight its role as a cultural melting pot. The presence of fire altars and evidence of sacred ceremonies suggests that the city may have been a spiritual center, possibly linked to early Zoroastrianism. Some historians believe that Gonur Depe may have been a pilgrimage site where people from surrounding regions came to worship and participate in religious rituals. If true, this would mean that Gonur Depe was not only an economic powerhouse, but also an influential center for spiritual and ideological exchange. The diversity of burial sites in Gonur Depe also provides clues about its multicultural society. Excavations have uncovered elaborate tombs containing jewelry, weapons, and ritual objects, indicating a highly stratified society where elite individuals were buried with great wealth. Some burial customs observed in Gonur Depe resemble those of Mesopotamian and Indo-Iranian traditions, further suggesting that its people were in contact with other cultures. The variety of burial styles points to a society that may have included foreign traders, immigrants, or diplomatic representatives, all contributing to its cultural richness. As a center of trade and culture, Gonur Depe played a pivotal role in shaping the early history of Central Asia. It was not an isolated kingdom, but an active participant in the larger ancient world, influencing and being influenced by the civilizations around it. Its unique blend of architectural styles, religious beliefs, and artistic traditions shows that it was a dynamic and cosmopolitan city, where commerce and culture flourished side by side. One of the most intriguing aspects of Gonur Depe is the evidence of a complex religious system that may have been unique to the region. Archaeologists have uncovered numerous ritualistic structures, fire altars, and sacred objects, suggesting that religion played a central role in the lives of its inhabitants. Some scholars believe that Gonur Depe may have been one of the earliest centers of Zoroastrian religious practices, predating the formal establishment of the faith by centuries. If this theory is correct, it would mean that Gonur Depe was not just a political and economic hub, but also a spiritual and ideological center that influenced later religious traditions. At the heart of this theory is the discovery of fire altars, which are structures specifically designed for fire-related rituals. These altars, found within temple-like buildings, bear a striking resemblance to those used in later Zoroastrian rituals, where fire was considered a sacred element representing purity, divine wisdom, and truth. The fact that multiple fire altars were found across the site suggests that fire worship was an essential aspect of Gonur Depe's spiritual life, possibly indicating an early form of fire veneration that would later evolve into Zoroastrianism. In addition to fire altars, excavations at Gonur Depe have revealed sacred vessels, ritual pits, and evidence of ceremonial practices. Some of these ritualistic objects contain traces of burnt substances, possibly plants or resins, which may have been used in religious ceremonies. The use of specific plants in rituals aligns with Zoroastrian traditions, where sacred drinks like hauma, soma, and Vedic culture were consumed during religious rites. This has led some researchers to speculate that the people of Gonur Depe practiced early forms of Proto-Zoroastrian rituals, which may have influenced later religious developments in Persia and beyond. Another fascinating discovery is the presence of burial sites with unique funerary practices. Unlike the simple graves found in many contemporary civilizations, Gonur Depe had elaborate tombs containing ritual objects, jewelry, and even sacrificed animals. Some tombs were constructed with specific orientations and layouts, possibly reflecting religious beliefs about the afterlife. In Zoroastrianism, the concept of purity in death is crucial, and certain burial customs, such as exposing bodies to natural elements rather than burying them directly in the ground, are fundamental to the faith. While Gonur Depe's burial practices do not exactly match later Zoroastrian customs, they suggest an early preference for ritualized funerary traditions, which may have influenced later spiritual ideologies. The connection between Gonur Depe and Indo-Iranian religious traditions is further supported by the presence of symbolic artifacts. Some of the seals and decorative motifs found at the site bear similarities to Vedic and early Iranian religious symbols, suggesting that the region was a cultural crossroads where spiritual ideas were exchanged. It is possible that the early Indo-Iranian peoples who later formalized Zoroastrianism were influenced by the religious practices developed in Gonur Depe. Although the exact nature of Gonur Depe's religious beliefs remains a mystery, there is no doubt that it was a significant spiritual center. The presence of temples, fire altars, and ritualistic artifacts indicates that religion was deeply integrated into the daily lives of its people. Whether or not Gonur Depe directly contributed to the formation of Zoroastrianism, it is clear that its religious traditions were highly developed and may have played a role in shaping the spiritual landscape of ancient Central Asia and Persia. Gonur Depe was home to a civilization that excelled in craftsmanship, producing intricate jewelry, finely decorated pottery, and highly functional tools. The sheer variety and quality of the artifacts discovered at the site suggests that the people of Gonur Depe were skilled artisans who had mastered various forms of artistic and practical craftsmanship. Their ability to work with different materials, such as gold, silver, bronze, semi-precious stones, and ceramics, indicates a highly sophisticated society with specialized labor and well-developed artistic traditions. One of the most remarkable aspects of Gonur Depe's craftsmanship is its jewelry. Archaeologists have uncovered gold and silver necklaces, rings, bracelets, and earrings, many of which feature intricate designs that display advanced metalworking skills. Some jewelry pieces are adorned with lapis lazuli, turquoise, and carnelian, materials that were not native to the region, suggesting that Gonur Depe had access to extensive trade networks. The use of these valuable materials indicates that jewelry was not just a decorative item, but also a symbol of wealth and status among the city's elite. In addition to precious metals and stones, artisans at Gonur Depe were highly skilled in ceramic production. The city's pottery showcases a wide range of styles, from simple, functional cooking vessels to elaborate painted and engraved pots. Many of these ceramic pieces are adorned with geometric patterns, animal motifs, and religious symbols, reflecting the artistic sensibilities and cultural beliefs of the people. Some pottery designs bear similarities to those found in the Indus Valley civilization, suggesting that ideas and artistic techniques were exchanged through trade and cultural interactions. Metalworking was another area in which the artisans of Gonur Depe excelled. Excavations have uncovered bronze tools, weapons, and household objects, indicating that the city had a well-developed metal industry. The production of bronze knives, arrowheads, and chisels suggests that metallurgy played a crucial role in daily life, both for practical uses and for warfare or hunting. The ability to manufacture high-quality metal tools implies that Gonur Depe had access to raw materials like copper and tin, either through local sources or long-distance trade. Another fascinating aspect of Gonur Depe's craftsmanship is its carved seals and figurines. These small yet intricately designed objects may have served multiple purposes, such as marking trade goods, representing religious figures, or functioning as personal amulets. Some seals bear symbols that resemble those found in Mesopotamian and Indus Valley cultures, further supporting the idea that Gonur Depe was connected to other civilizations through commerce and cultural exchange. The presence of human and animal figurines suggests that art was not merely decorative, but may have had ritualistic or symbolic significance. Textile production also appears to have been an important craft in Gonur Depe. While organic materials like fabric rarely survive over thousands of years, archaeologists have found evidence of spindle whorls and loom weights, indicating that the city's people wove textiles. The existence of such tools suggests that Gonur Depe had a thriving textile industry, which may have produced clothing, decorative fabrics, and trade goods. Given the city's connections to distant regions, it is possible that luxurious textiles from Gonur Depe were exchanged with neighboring civilizations. The advanced craftsmanship of Gonur Depe reflects a society that had specialized labor and a well-organized economy. Unlike smaller, simpler settlements where most people were engaged in subsistence farming, Gonur Depe had a class of skilled artisans who dedicated themselves to creating high-quality goods. These artisans likely worked within a structured system, possibly under the patronage of the city's ruling elite or religious leaders. The presence of workshops, storage facilities, and organized production areas suggests that crafting was not just a household activity, but an essential part of the city's economy and trade network. The sophisticated artistic and industrial achievements of Gonur Depe challenged the traditional view that advanced craftsmanship was limited to Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Indus Valley during the Bronze Age. Instead, they proved that the Bactria-Margiana Archaeological Complex, BMAC, was home to a highly skilled population capable of producing beautiful, functional, and technologically advanced artifacts that influenced the broader region. The excavation of tombs and burial sites at Gonur Depe has provided crucial insights into the city's social structure, religious beliefs, and cultural practices. The nature of these burials suggests that the civilization was highly stratified, with a distinct hierarchy that separated the ruling elite from common citizens. Unlike simple village settlements of the time, where most people were buried in similar graves, Gonur Depe had a wide range of burial types, from modest graves to elaborate tombs filled with treasures and ritual objects. One of the most striking discoveries in Gonur Depe's burial sites is the presence of elite tombs, which belong to the ruling class, high priests, or influential individuals. These tombs were carefully constructed with multiple chambers and contained an abundance of valuable goods, including gold and silver jewelry, finely crafted weapons, ceremonial pottery, and sacrificed animals. The wealth and luxury found in these burials indicate that the upper class lived in great prosperity, controlling the city's resources and possibly its religious institutions. Some tombs also contained human sacrifices, a practice that suggests a deep-rooted belief in the afterlife and the idea that certain individuals needed to accompany the deceased in the next world. This practice has been observed in other ancient civilizations, such as Mesopotamia and Egypt, where servants or family members were sometimes buried alongside kings and nobles. In Gonur Depe, the presence of human remains buried with elite individuals raises questions about whether these sacrifices were ritual offerings, devoted servants, or possibly prisoners of war. The variation in burial styles further highlights the differences in social class. While the elite were buried with lavish grave goods and in well-constructed tombs, common citizens were buried in simpler pits, often with only a few personal belongings. Some graves contained basic pottery, tools, or small ornaments, indicating that lower-class individuals had fewer material possessions but still followed burial traditions. This contrast between rich and poor graves suggests that social inequality was a defining feature of Gonur Depe's civilization, with a structured system that dictated one's status in life and in death. Another fascinating aspect of the burial sites is the presence of symbolic objects and religious artifacts. Some graves contained items that may have been used in religious ceremonies, such as small figurines, incense burners, and ritual vessels. This suggests that the people of Gonur Depe had strong beliefs about the afterlife and performed elaborate funeral rites to ensure a safe journey for the deceased. Some tombs were also aligned in specific directions, possibly reflecting spiritual or astronomical beliefs about the soul's journey after death. In addition to personal belongings, many graves contained animal remains, which may have been part of funerary rituals or sacrifices. Horses, camels, and sheep were sometimes buried alongside humans, possibly indicating that they were considered sacred or that they held economic and symbolic value in the society. The inclusion of animals in burials suggests that the people of Gonur Depe believed in their significance beyond daily life, perhaps as companions in the afterlife or as offerings to deities. One of the most intriguing discoveries is the similarity between Gonur Depe's burial customs and those of early Indo-Iranian cultures. Some researchers believe that these burial practices reflect an early form of Zoroastrian or Proto-Indo-Iranian funerary traditions, which emphasized purity, sacred rituals, and the journey of the soul. While Zoroastrians later adopted the practice of exposing bodies to the elements rather than burying them, the presence of ritual objects and fire altars near burial sites suggests that Gonur Depe played a role in shaping early religious traditions. The study of these tombs continues to reveal new insights into social hierarchy, religious beliefs, and cultural influences at Gonur Depe. The complexity of burial practices suggests that this was not just a small settlement, but a highly organized and deeply spiritual civilization, where status, power, and faith were all intertwined. One of the greatest mysteries surrounding Gonur Depe is its sudden decline and eventual abandonment. The city, which once thrived as a major cultural and economic hub, was eventually left in ruins, buried beneath layers of desert sand. While there is no single definitive answer to why Gonur Depe was abandoned, many archaeologists and historians believe that climate change and environmental shifts played a significant role in its downfall. The region that was once fertile and supported a thriving civilization may have gradually become inhospitable, forcing its inhabitants to migrate in search of better conditions. During the height of Gonur Depe's prosperity, the city relied on river systems for irrigation and agriculture. The Murghab River, which once flowed through the region, provided the essential water needed for farming, drinking, and sustaining livestock. The people of Gonur Depe had developed an advanced water management system, including irrigation canals, wells, and reservoirs, to maximize the use of this valuable resource. However, over time, climatic changes, shifting river courses, and desertification may have led to a significant decline in water availability. One major factor contributing to the decline of Gonur Depe may have been the gradual drying of the Murghab River. Rivers in Central Asia have historically been prone to changing courses due to geological and climatic factors. If the Murghab River started to shift away from Gonur Depe, or its flow was significantly reduced, the city would have faced an agricultural crisis, leading to food shortages and economic decline. Without a reliable water source, farming would have become nearly impossible, forcing people to abandon their homes in search of more hospitable land. In addition to water scarcity, rising temperatures and increased aridity may have contributed to the city's downfall. Evidence suggests that during the Late Bronze Age, many regions of Central Asia experienced gradual desertification, with previously fertile lands becoming dry and barren. As rainfall decreased and temperatures rose, the landscape around Gonur Depe may have transformed into an inhospitable desert, making it difficult for people to sustain their way of life. The spread of sand dunes and shifting winds may have further buried parts of the city, accelerating its abandonment. Another possible factor in the decline of Gonur Depe is overexploitation of natural resources. As the population grew and the demand for food, firewood, and building materials increased, the people of Gonur Depe may have placed excessive pressure on their environment. Deforestation, soil depletion, and overuse of water sources could have weakened the region's ability to support human settlement. If agricultural productivity declined due to soil exhaustion or the collapse of irrigation systems, the city's economy would have suffered, leading to mass migrations. Some historians also suggest that Gonur Depe's abandonment may have been linked to nomadic invasions or external conflicts. As environmental conditions worsened, nearby groups may have been forced to move into the city's territory in search of resources, leading to tensions or warfare. The emergence of new, powerful nomadic cultures, such as the early Indo-Iranians, may have disrupted the region, either through direct attacks or by taking control of valuable trade routes. While there is limited evidence of large-scale warfare at Gonur Depe, conflict and migration pressures could have played a role in its decline. Another theory suggests that cultural and economic shifts led to the city's gradual abandonment. As neighboring civilizations evolved and trade routes changed, Gonur Depe may have lost its importance as a commercial and religious center. If economic opportunities diminished, the ruling elite and merchant class may have migrated to more prosperous regions, leaving behind a city that could no longer sustain itself. The gradual loss of political influence and economic power may have made it increasingly difficult for Gonur Depe's inhabitants to maintain their once thriving civilization. Despite its decline, the legacy of Gonur Depe did not completely disappear. Some scholars believe that its people may have migrated to other regions, bringing their knowledge, traditions, and religious beliefs with them. If early Indo-Iranian groups had connections to Gonur Depe, its cultural and spiritual traditions may have influenced later civilizations, including the development of Zoroastrianism and the broader Bactria-Margiana Archaeological Complex, BMAC. The remnants of Gonur Depe, buried beneath the desert sands, serve as a powerful reminder of how environmental and societal changes can shape the destiny of even the most advanced civilizations. For centuries, Gonur Depe remained hidden beneath the sands of modern-day Turkmenistan, its existence unknown to the outside world. Unlike the well-documented civilizations of Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Indus Valley, Gonur Depe was a forgotten chapter in human history, its ruins waiting to be uncovered. However, its rediscovery in the late 20th century has completely transformed our understanding of ancient Central Asia, revealing that this region was home to a highly advanced civilization that thrived during the Bronze Age. The first significant discoveries at Gonur Depe were made by Victor Sarianidi, a Russian-Greek archaeologist who devoted decades of his life to uncovering the secrets of the Bactria-Margiana Archaeological Complex, BMAC. Sarianides excavations at Gonur Depe in the 1970s and 1980s revealed an extensive urban settlement with monumental architecture, intricate irrigation systems, and evidence of sophisticated craftsmanship and trade. What was once thought to be an isolated desert region was suddenly recognized as a major cultural and economic center of the ancient world. One of the most groundbreaking aspects of Gonur Depe's rediscovery is its impact on our understanding of early urbanization in Central Asia. Before its excavation, many scholars believed that advanced urban centers in the Bronze Age were mostly limited to Mesopotamia, the Indus Valley, and China. However, the discovery of Gonur Depe challenged this notion, proving that Central Asia was home to its own unique and complex civilization, complete with cities, social hierarchies, and long-distance trade networks. The findings at Gonur Depe also suggest that it played a crucial role in cultural exchanges between major ancient civilizations. Artifacts found at the site, including seals, pottery, and jewelry, show influences from Mesopotamia, the Indus Valley, and Iran, indicating that Gonur Depe was an important center of commerce and cultural interaction. This has led archaeologists to reconsider the extent of trade routes in the ancient world, suggesting that Central Asia was not merely a remote, isolated region, but rather a key player in early transcontinental trade. Perhaps one of the most exciting implications of Gonur Depe's rediscovery is its potential connection to early Indo-Iranian cultures and the origins of Zoroastrianism. The presence of fire altars, sacred vessels, and ritualistic structures at the site has led some scholars to propose that Gonur Depe was a spiritual center that influenced later religious traditions. If true, this would mean that Central Asia was not just a crossroads of commerce, but also of ideas, philosophies, and religious thought, shaping the beliefs of future civilizations. The rediscovery of Gonur Depe has also provided valuable insights into ancient technological and agricultural innovations. The city's advanced irrigation systems, which allowed it to sustain a large population in an arid environment, demonstrate an impressive understanding of water management and urban planning. These techniques may have influenced later civilizations in Central Asia and beyond, contributing to the development of more efficient farming methods and settlement designs in historically dry regions. Despite these remarkable findings, Gonur Depe remains one of the least understood major ancient civilizations. Unlike the extensively studied ruins of Mesopotamia and Egypt, much of Gonur Depe's history is still being pieced together. The lack of written records from the civilization means that archaeologists must rely solely on material evidence, making it challenging to reconstruct the city's political structure, belief systems, and daily life with certainty. Recent advances in archaeological technology, including satellite imaging and ground-penetrating radar, are helping researchers uncover new aspects of Gonur Depe that were previously inaccessible. Ongoing excavations continue to reveal new artifacts, structures, and burial sites, providing fresh insights into this long-lost civilization. The study of Gonur Depe is still in its early stages, and future discoveries may completely reshape our understanding of its place in world history. As archaeologists and historians continue to explore the site, the rediscovery of Gonur Depe serves as a powerful reminder that history is far more complex and interconnected than previously thought. The civilization that once thrived here was not an isolated anomaly, but part of a broader network of ancient cultures, influencing and being influenced by the world around it. The story of Gonur Depe is still being written, and as new evidence emerges, it has the potential to change our perception of the Bronze Age and the origins of early civilizations in ways we have yet to fully comprehend.